the third option is what I do here. And, this store is not the worst I've seen. It's certainly not the best. But at the end of the day, a lot of times these guys are month to month or they are in arrears. I don't know. I'm not asking. I don't want to peer into your rent rolls or your private information. But this kind of like a hoarder store. There's just, I don't know if you tour your facilities, but 35-year-old equipment and piles and piles and piles of junk everywhere. Not serving the community, let's just say that. And what I would like to do is sign a long-term lease, put a bunch of new equipment in, spend the money on that, and try to be successful yet again, if that makes any sense.
Okay, why don't you send me an email? Tell me what tell me what you're looking to do and stuff, and I discuss it with my team.
Perfect. I love it. Can I ask for a bit of insight? Any idea? I mean, I don't communicate with operators. I'm not interested in buying the place. I can happily send you an email. We're obviously not at the letter of intent phase or anything of that nature. But, the email, I'll send you some pictures of my stores, what I do, something sort of generic, if you will.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah. Any idea what's going on? I mean, is there something to discuss? Because I'm planning 2 additional stores in the next 6 months. I just want to know where we're at. If you know.
Well, this guy's been there for 25 years.
Yeah. And
that's it. I mean, he's been there for 25 years. He's a tenant at will.
Got it. Okay. That's all I needed to hear. Tenant at will. And let me say, I appreciate your taking the time. This is my cell phone number, Robert. So hang on to it. And
no, I don't have it. This is a landline.
Okay. Let me give it to you if I could.
Let me write it down. What's your name again?
Danny D'Angelo.
Where are you from, Danny?
Brooklyn, New York, originally.
But no, I mean, where are you located now?
Oh, I've got stores in Boston. I live in Boston. Well, I have a condo in Boston.
Yeah, that's pretty nice. What part of Boston?
It is very nice. No, I will in 2 minutes. I don't have your email address, Robert. What's your email address?
Give me a number first, Danny.
My cell phone number is the best number.
GAN.
All right, let me repeat that phonetically to make sure I have it right. Perfect. I got it the first time. All right, I'll fire you off a thing, and we'll stay on your ass about this, and that's my cell phone number, so if you would save that number. And I assume, I'm reaching on a landline. Do you have a better number?
This is fine.
Perfect. Thanks for the time.
All right, Dan. Thank you.
Okay. If that wasn't Stephen Wright, then my name is Fred.
Holy shit, I can't believe he answered. We've called that guy how many times? 3, 6, 9.
Well, there's a lot to unpack. Okay. Do you know what a tenant at will is?
Yes. But he can leave anytime he wants, or he can be told to leave anytime, right? Month to month?
It means month to month. Okay. But let's go back to, I'm going to scold you here for a second. When we're on a call like that, I know it's very exciting, but I'm doing work. And at the same time, what I want you to do is just be taking bullet points, because as much as you think you might remember everything, I normally do remember everything, but just write the bullet points of what
I did. So you're right above his picture?
Send me an email. Tell me, okay, you did. I'm sorry. I didn't. I was on the page above that.
Yeah, you're above
so that way you can
answer.
go and take those bullet points and turn them into complete sentences. Here's the first thing. It is important. You're right. We've been calling this guy 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's just say for months, right? 7,
Mhm.
8 calls. He finally picks, and this is what really gets my ire up. He picks up the phone. Hello.
Yep.
He's sitting with his feet up on a speakerphone. That's okay if you're the CEO and you're talking to your secretary. Okay. But how do you expect to do business after we've been calling him since 2025,
Yep.
leaving him messages, and he makes no attempt to, but this is the type of person we're dealing with. And now we know, because when he picks up the phone, here was the part. And I know when I click over, it's kind of difficult because I can't merge the calls instantly. And sometimes if I merge the calls too quickly, they hang up and they won't pick up again because they're like, oh, that must have been some sales call, an auto dialer, right?
Yep. Yep.
You've got my number. Oh, this is a landline. From memory, you didn't hear this, but we're on YouTube now, so you're, don't mention addresses or names that may incriminate you. But here's the thing. He says, hello? I said, Robert.
Yep.
He says, who's this? Is that how you do business, you think, if you were a real estate agent?
Absolutely not.
Or would you answer the telephone and say, hello, real estate, my name is Robert, how may I help you? But you know what? You and everybody else, because there's so many salesmen out there, and my phone just rings off the hook. But if you want to earn in this life, you have to treat everybody as though they are that potential dollar sign. And he doesn't. And most people don't. It's disgusting. But you say this 70-year-old guy, okay, he's got a landline. By the way, at the end, I'll just skip to the end. He wouldn't give me his cell phone number.
Right.
Nah, this number's fine. Well, you've got my cell phone, buddy. The cell phone
one
that
with
many
left
people have
15
fought and
messages
died
on.
for, and you have it, but how dare you? Nah, this number's fine.
Yeah. So how are we supposed to do business with that number that we just called 15 times over the last year, and we can't get in touch with you?
But I can't push it. I can't be pushy. I can't be a dick.
Right.
But here's the bottom line. I say what I say it quickly. I really want to go back to the beginning because it does piss me off. Let me be honest, but I can't show that. I can't show my hand. I work for you, right? Occasionally you'll see a short video or I'm screaming and yelling at somebody, but that's only because everything's burnt down. It's already scorched earth. So it's time to tell somebody they should go eat it. Okay? So this particular guy, hello, sitting 20 feet away from his phone, doing business, right? Eating a tuna fish sandwich. And I say, Robert, because I always start that way. Here's an insider tip. May I speak to Robert? I just assume it's him. Robert, who's this? He didn't identify himself ever during that call. Weird.
Yeah.
Just weird. Who's this? Not, how may I help you? Meaning, this is Robert. I'm sorry, all we have are words. We're on the telephone. All we have are words. And I can dress somebody down. That comes from intelligence and experience. I'm not going to dress down some 70-year-old guy who we're trying to get something out of. But the bottom line is this. I shoot my shot. I tell him what we do and how we do it. I explain this laundromat, which is truly a hoarder store. It's disgusting. I don't blame him. I don't say, look, you're a shitty realtor that works for a shitty landlord. But this place is a hoarder trap. It's disgusting. This isn't how you do business. No one wants to go in there. Only the emergency lights are turned on, right?
Yeah, the place is a mess.
They've been there 25 years. Couldn't help myself. What does that mean? What does that mean? And I could go on and on. Well, that's not good. A 25-year taco stand means they make hella tacos. A 25-year taco stand means damn them tacos. Get in there, right? Because restaurants come and go. 95% recidivism rate in that business. So 5% success is considered great. Whether you're a high-end tablecloth and valet parking out front steakhouse or taco stand. You got to know business to do business. This place is disgusting. Been there 25 years. Did you say 25 or 30?
25 years.
25 years. Now, I could have given up at that. A lot of tenants do. And a lot of landlords or landlords' agents, they want tenants that are, okay? They want people that, oh, can I please, I revere you, Mr. Landlord. You're so good at what you do, Mr. Robert. Can you please? I really want to put my anal bead shop into this place. It's going to work. It's going to be good. Okay, that'll be first and last month's rent. And we'll see you on Sunday to sign the lease. They know you're going to fail. Bottom line, tenant at will. Love it.
Yeah.
Did he say that because he wants me to not know what it means? I know what it means. Good. I pushed a little further. You can't ask, hey, hi, Robert, what's the story with this piece of shit laundromat that looks like a hoarder store? Can you tell me? And he's Stephen Wright, and he's going to say, I like to ski on the other side of the ice.
Yeah, he's not going to offer up anything without you pulling it out of him.
Which reminds me of the beads shop. These are the jokes. Hang on a second. Hang on a second. I know you did. I want to show the kids a couple of pictures of this place. Ask your questions, you louts. Tell them, James. What questions do you have, James? You can even ask questions.
Ask the questions. I did have a question.
What do you got?
Let me think for a second.
Go ahead. You do or you don't?
No, I do. One question is there ever a situation where you could sign a lease with a landlord and say 5 years down the road, they want to sell the building? Is there any way for them to get you out of there, or they're bound to that lease for the new owner?
Let me answer this in 3 parts. What do you think?
I think that they're bound to the lease.
Correct.
I don't know 100%.
Correct. Imagine the universe if that was not the case, right? Just if you signed, and I hear what you're saying. I just discussed this on a live about a week ago. And I know I have 1,000+ videos. It's hard to go through all of it. I might just put an addendum video to my editing team into the course if it's not mentioned, but I think it is. But I wanted to ask you what you thought, because this is something that, imagine you sign a lease with landlord A and he sells the building or drops dead and his family sells the building. This place is a hoarder laundromat. And then landlord B comes in and swoops in and takes over. It's disgusting, this place. I'm showing the photos. And they come to you and say, well, you're done. No, that would be chaos. That would be zombie land. There would be people running and urinating in the streets, dogs and cats living together. It doesn't happen. Why? Well, for obvious reasons, because we don't want zombies. Look at all those negative signs. The one clean, neat wall they have, and it's just jam-packed with negative signs. Don't put your child in the washer or dryer. So the simple answer is, and you could have Googled that, but I'm glad you didn't because you asked me. No, the lease transfers. So sometimes, to go further, when we see a strip mall with 7 suites, right, and we're only interested in laundromats, so we find that the laundromat is the only remaining suite. Kooky, right? The Pets R Us has gone. The taco shop is gone. The pizzeria, the accounting firm, they're all gone. You got to wonder, is this a horrible landlord? Or are they letting their leases go because they want to scrape the building and put up condos, right? That would make sense to me. Is there an outward factor? Are all of those businesses failing for some other reason? But normally when they've got 7, 8, 9, 10 suites and they're letting everybody go, it's kind of a pain in the ass because they've got this one hang on, which is the laundromat in this case, who still has some remaining lease. And they'll come to you, big conglomerates that buy out buildings, and they'll come to you and say, we want to buy out your lease. So what does that mean? We want to pay you every dime that you owe us in the next 10 years. Well, if your laundromat or your pizzeria or your taco stand is failing, you might take that money, right? And in fact, I have a client who was a young man a couple of years ago working with me, making calls like you and I are. And he said, Danny, do you mind if I ask you a question about something personal? And I don't know if I've ever discussed this before. And I said, yeah, no, of course. Yeah, I thought it was personal about me. You know, I shower outside. But you're the only one that can laugh at the jokes because everybody else listening can't. We can't hear them.
I laughed. I was on mute. Sorry.
God damn it. All right. So this kid says they're turning my apartment into a condo community. And the big kerfuffle is whatever with the local laws here, blah, blah, blah. They've come to all of us and they've said, we're not going to be renewing your lease. And I said, how much time do you have left? He says, well, I just signed a year, so I have 12 months. And I thought for a minute, and I said, well, what did they offer you? He said, they offered to pay every expense for me to move, including the deposit for my new apartment. Wow, okay. First and last, he said, yeah, everything. Moving van, which I wouldn't use normally. I'd use my friends. So I listened to that, and I said, how big is this complex? Hundreds of units. How many people do you estimate still live there? He says, I really don't know. And I said, here's what you do. You make a flyer and you put it on every door and you say, we're having a meeting in the common area. And if you don't have a common area, just under a certain tree, just have a designated spot. But on the premises, have a meeting and you want to talk to everybody. And when it's about them booting you out. And when it happens, you want to get as many names and cell phones and email addresses as you can and create a bit of a class action, right? And when you get with all those people, there might be an old lady who's lived there for 30 years and she really doesn't want to move. There might be a young kid that's only got 2 months left on his lease. But together, you're all stronger. So when the new owners, the complex owners, and this is a different thing, but I'm just telling a story. When the complex owners see that you're trying to rabble rouse, they're going to be mad, okay? When you do get, and only about 10%, maybe 20%, maybe 50% of those people will show up, some of them won't care. If the flyer is handwritten, so be it. If the flyer says, hey, big money for us, because that's what it is. He's like, well, what's the point? I said, you get there, you get all their contact information, you say, we have rights. And as a group, our rights are extended, right? Because if we all decide we're not going anywhere, and he had just signed a new lease, which means a lot of people had probably just signed a new lease. You follow? What they want is everybody to go so they can condo the place out.
Right.
And there was something more. There was construction or something else, because that'd be easy. They can wait for everybody's lease to expire in this case, right? I honestly don't remember the detail. But came down to it, he was the guy that put the flyers and met with a few people. And we were making calls on laundromats, which he has a laundry now. He might jump up here on this, but he said, no, I don't want you to pay for my move. I want you to make me an offer. So they offered $10,000 in cash. He ended up with $55,000 to buy out the lease. And I don't know what they paid everybody else, but these people have a lot of money. And you know what they say? Time is money. And he was very thankful to me because I said, dude, just, you have legal rights, and bringing all the other people. If you're one holdout and you say, nah, I'm going to sit here on my lease. But if you bring everybody together and you're all talking about what they've offered, he ended up getting that amount of money because they found out that the old lady that was in there, they offered her a lot more because they felt perhaps poorly, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
All right. People are asking questions. That's definitely good. I am going to send this knucklehead an email, James, and
right.
I'm sure you've tried, but if you are able to use now his email and his orifice number and his full name, maybe do some digging and find his cell phone, great. If we get that, so be it. Who knows? My thinking is just very different. I'm old school when it comes to doing business. And, Robert, who's this? Danny D'Angelo. I can barely hear you, dude. And then he finally takes the string and cup out of his ear and sits up and turns his speakerphone on. Is that better? Yeah, it's definitely better.
So if we don't hear back from this guy, do we call him again in 2 weeks?
Absolutely. Absolutely, because he's got a tenant at will. And we know his blasé attitude. We know that his devil may care, don't give a shit. He's not going to be calling, writing, sending information. But what he is beholden to do is hand our email direct to ownership, the landlords. And when he does that, they're going to say, oh, yeah. And in fact, if we call him in a couple of weeks and he doesn't answer, I'd like you to put another email together with photos of this store. Don't have to put anything. Don't have to circle. Some of my clients, they'll put a photo up and they'll circle it. And I'm like, why are you circling that? I can see there's a hoarder living in there. I mean, my God, there's no need for the circles, or they circle the powdered detergent on the floor as though I don't see it.
I'm not going to recognize.
Yeah. Is there a payphone in here?
That place? I don't remember.
I'm surprised. I don't remember. All right. More Stephen Wright jokes. I found out most accidents happen 2 miles from the home, so I moved. I love Stephen Wright. Okay. I will send him the canned email, a slight punch up to it, and we will call this dude back. Go find more stores, James. Thanks for the time.
I will do that. Thank you, Dan.
All right, later. All right, we got a fun-filled, action-packed cavalcade of calls to make today, but you guys are the center of it all. You always have been, and you always will be. Trust me. I hate when people say that. Try not to be an idiot. All right. Elijah, I know who you are. I may be getting into the weeds. Operators sell gas, water, and electricity at a premium. How are the rates determined on individual washers and dryers? I have seen different prices at different spot. Mark, you are in the weeds. You don't need to get into micromanaging your washers and or dryers. What you need to do when you retool your store and you suddenly find yourself having the best product in the area, you charge more than everyone else. These operators that think, oh, it's only about price. No. When the store across the street is a card store, they're asking a minimal price, and they've got a swamp-cooled area and no parking. You should be charging more. This is a steakhouse versus a taco shop. It is expected. Don't be afraid to do that. Every time someone puts a quarter in a machine, you pull your money off the top. Easy stuff. Let's go to Maryland. Stacking bodies, closing leases.
Danny.
What's up, ref?
You, baby, you.
You, baby, don't steal my lines. All right, I got to send an email here real quick. Hold on one second. Okay, remind me what's going on, because you know how I am.
We've been back and forth with the listing agent about rent abatement because they didn't really give us much pushback on the other terms we laid out for them. We're at $13.50 per square foot, and they were at 9 months. We were at 12. They after the 12-month abatement period, then the gross rent would be $3K a month for the first 6 months on a 3,200 square foot.
Didn't we? This
Sure.
is one where we said 3% straight through the lease, right?
Yes.
Okay, and he agreed to that, or did no? He wrote us back. Okay, so I need to find that. Did he CC me? Are you looking at the email?
I'm pulling it up now.
Okay.
Luke.
And we are eBaying, so watch the specifics if you don't mind. eBaying, YouTubing, one of those things.
Yeah. The good stuff. Yep.
eBaying. Oh, I love eBay. Okay, I see it. Well, this is yesterday. All right, good. Please see
Yep,
attached. Ownership has agreed to 12 months of free rent. You just got a year for free. But they want $3,000 in gross rent for the 6 months after the abatement period. Hopefully this gets us across the finish line. He sent that yesterday. Good news. Here's what we do. Nothing for us to do now. We're going to ignore this. Okay. The next time that and then he wrote again, also 3 minutes later, can you please provide financials? Of course. So here's what we do. We're going to ignore this. And it's hard to know when to do this, but most people, and this isn't a car you're buying where you go into the dealership and you argue and you say, well, I've got it. My dad taught me to walk out. And then you know you've got the right price. When they call you back and they say, this is what we can do. That's bullshit. You start from the beginning and you say, look, I've got the scratch. I want the car. I know what I need. I don't need a test drive. Can you give me this vehicle for $500 over your invoice? And then ask them that question. They say, yeah, we can do that. I don't want a test drive. I'm going to do this in 45 minutes. I'll be in the finance area and I'll be out of your hair. You don't have to pay cash. They don't care. They get paid, right? That's how you do it. Somebody just asked me, how do you buy these cars for a nickel over invoice every time? I go in with that. I don't have to know anybody. My uncle doesn't own the dealership. I just say, this is what I'd like to do. Let's be clear from the beginning. You're going to be there for 3 hours. But if you say, look, the guy with all the plaques on the wall, he wants to get on the board. It's the 29th of the month. He wants to sell another car. So, and people are scared to death to buy cars. They think they're getting robbed. They don't know what it's a mystery. When you put your bag at the airport, it goes on that conveyor belt. What happens to it? I don't know. There's probably little midgets that are looking in there. And I used to work at the airport. I used to sell cars. I kind of know these things. It's fun. I'm getting old. I'm getting gray. I know things. So, speaking of midgets, we're going to do nothing. The minute that he writes back, whether it's this afternoon or tomorrow, he's tipping his hand saying, well, we want this deal more than you. Hey, what happened, guys? And then we can come back and say, oh, call him up, which I like to do, and say, well, you're not putting any money in the deal. You want $3,000 gross, and we're doing a lot of deals, right? We want to move on to the next. And then you shut your mouth. You have to know how to do that. So for now, waiting is the hardest part. Yes, we're going to get this deal done, but for now we do not. There's nobody waiting in the wings.
I agree. And to answer your question that you asked me before, which I didn't have the answer to, store's been vacant going on a year.
There you go. So they have no leg to stand on when it comes to rent abatement. Free rent on an operation shut down for a year is easy because they can't say, oh, no, we've never given more than 3 months. Well, we'll talk to you in another year, and you'll be 2 years without rent. All right, take care of the baby, and he hits you direct or me, I'll let you know, and vice versa. So if he sends you a text, God forbid, or emails only you, playing the good cop, bad cop, then you just text me.
Will do. Appreciate it,
No
Danny.
matter when. Thanks, guys.
Thanks.
Ciao. That's 2. I like that scene in The Godfather where they're settling all family business. Do you know the one? Jump in the comments. Let me know. Procrastinating mindset. Guys, keep up the questions. I'm going to answer them all at the same time. Do you guys know the scene in The Godfather? Because that's what we're doing today. We're settling all family business. I can pull it up for you. What did I click on? Settling family business scene. Oh, it's the baptism scene. That's interesting. How do we do this? Questions, kids? Just because we're watching the Godfather scene. And the point of this, today I settle all family business. We got a whole bunch of leases. What a great scene. I love YouTube. So we are able, let me know how the sound sounds because I got to mess with some things here when I do that. Hopefully I fixed it. Today we handle all family business. Okay, what is the largest washer you recommend to have? Well, that is number one, a very inside baseball question, as though someone is about to build out a laundromat. We don't build laundromats. We replace equipment. So if you've got a row of top loaders, throw them away. They are junk. They are going to do you no good. They are no longer an efficient method to run a laundromat. A good distributor will tell you exactly that.
Oh, this area really does well with the top loaders because of the Hispanic community.
Try not to be an idiot. Yeah, bullshit. Do you need an 80-pound washer in your laundromat? No, it's not going to get used. It's not a prison laundry. Who's got 80 pounds of whites other than a prison? They just want to sell you a washer that costs as much as a new family car. Take a vacation. I need to get moving, says MC8038. What's your name, Snickle Fritz? Those of you who don't know, when we are on this particular channel, I am looking for you to give me your actual real firsty name. All right. How many of you are caught up? Let's find out. Jump into the comments and tell me your first name and where you are, what city and state or country, depending. Go. MC8, oh, MC, you're doing the rap thing. I need to get moving on these laundromats, she says. Have to get out of the procrastinating mindset. Well, what's stopping you? Where do you start? Everybody on here that knows, tell the MC rapper where to start. Where do you start? Watching 1,000 YouTube videos? Sure. That's going to take you weeks. Where do you start? Get moving. I'm not a motivational speaker. TJ says the sound is good. Thank you, TJ, for throwing your name out there. Here's Danny. We're talking about The Godfather. In my youth, kids, in my youth. Hey, Danny, how do you find the contractor to run the fluff and fold service? You are, again, asking a very inside baseball question. Desert Treefer. Are you a client? Because if you are, you should just text me and I'll call you and we'll talk about that. How do you find the contractor? You put a sign the minute you sign your lease. You don't even have the keys yet. You don't even own the place yet. You print a beautiful sign that says help, wanted, and your cell phone number, and you stick it on the outside of the glass if you must. You're taking over. Answer the phone when it rings. I'm interested in handing you a business. I want to give you the wash, dry, fold business. I concern myself with the profits from my coin laundromats, the self-serve end. You're going to keep my store immaculately clean in order to make this symbiosis run and work. If at any point I should stop talking, let me know. You say that to them. If they sound like a 20-year-old girl and you can hear a baby on her hip, you can gently say, this is a contract employee scenario. There's no guaranteed wage. I'm giving you a business. Should I keep talking? She'll say, no, thank you. Click. She wants to work at McDonald's with her fresh baby. It's a longer story. I ask, that is a question for someone who just took over a laundry. Did I help? If you've got my number, send me a text. Get the silly course people are telling. Yes, that's your first step in not procrastinating anymore. You can ask questions inside the course. You can email me. You can email me right now. Danny@freelaundromat.com. I can't be more clear how transparent that I am and how quick I'm able to get with you guys. Eric, the famous milk family, says, call Danny. My wife can't stand it, Eric, because every single time I see your milk in AJ's, I say, that's my guy. He's got himself free laundromats. She says, I'm aware. I know. Oh, by the way, tell your brother, Eric, that you should make, for Halloween, you should make Count Chocula flavor. Probably a lot of licensing involved, so call it something silly, but put a bat on there. I don't know. Woo! Jesus from Queens. Yo, 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 NYC in the house. Somebody's texting me. No, it's my family. They keep sending pictures of the poodles. Stop it. This is my middle kid's new baby, Benny. We bought him for her for Christmas, and her name is Delilah D'Angelo on TikTok. 3, 4, 5 million views of her opening the box with Benny in it. He's so cute. This is Steve from Jersey. Just got your course. Can't wait to start diving in. What are you waiting for? When I'm done, I'll be reaching out for a consultation. That's the thing, guys. Watch the course, smash a button. Let's get on the phone. I've got a couple young ladies that I'm talking to today. They were adamant about having a tea time with Danny at 3 o'clock. So whatever. You'll find that when you smash the consult button, I will email you tout suite. That's French for right away. And give you my cell phone number, my one and only cell phone number. The rest of the fake guru, the rest of the world is pretending that their time is so valuable that they're $1,500, $1,600 a minute. No joke. And they Zoom call you while they're on their way to a meeting in their car. I know this. Desert Treefer, we just started working together. It's Jonathan Martinez. Hey, Jonathan. So you're asking a question about how to find contract attendants. Just ask me about that on the phone. But also, you're not there yet. When it happens, help wanted sign. You'll never have a problem finding these people. They beat a path to your door. Check out. Delilah doesn't need followers, trust me. She makes a very healthy living reselling products on there and being the dreaded influencer. Oh, my truck. Just to give you an update, it'll be here between 8 and 12 tomorrow. Oh, great. That's about a week late. Let's go to Texas. like, and subscribe.
This is Brent.
Brent, you know what this sound means? Try not to be an idiot.
I'll try not to be an idiot. I'm not very good at it though.
Dogs and cats living together. All right, remind me, where are we at? What are we doing?
Which one are we referring to? The
I don't know.
Brian one?
Shit.
The Brian one that they stole all the stuff on?
Yeah. Good.
That
good.
one he just asked you to call.
He wants me to call
Okay.
him. Okay.
Yeah, yesterday I got those 2 bids for the bulkheads and the electrical rough estimates. Basically, it's going to be about 80 grand no matter who I talk to.
80,000 all in, you figure?
Yeah, between 80 and 90. The electrical will be about 10 grand, about $8,000 worth of wire, because it's 3-phase, 3 pulls, and then the bulkheads are about 70 to 80.
Well,
So
happy to say all in 80 to 90K, right?
yeah, I mean, I think it's rough. And everybody says, "Oh, now this is rough." I'm like, I understand. You can't quote me on anything unless you know exactly what I'm doing.
For those that don't know, our live the other day was the emergency live where I threw a thumbnail up from Grand Theft Auto where they were stealing the copper, because the truth is that was happening. And that was a very telling call. And during the call, I even called the woman who runs the laundromat. Now, sadly, my team will be putting together, I really do have a team. My team will be putting together, I hate when people say they have a team and it's them and their wife, you know. Fake guru. My team will be putting together a long form video that's heavily edited, not edited for content, but edited to get the point across that this poor lady bought a laundromat. We don't know what she paid, but she was so ignorant about what that meant and everything that it included. 1 year ago, she purchased the laundry. She wouldn't tell us the price. We could probably find the sale price without too much effort, whether it was on Buy Biz Sell or Facebook Marketplace, just by using the address. We could track that down. But these stores usually go for 300 grand, and then you whittle it down to 285 and think you're doing a job. So she bought it, and by her own lips, 3 months later, put it up on the market for sale because it wasn't making money. She was losing and hemorrhaging dollars and cents. She was lied to. She was sold a bill of goods. We can put the dots together. Feel free to interrupt, Brent. So Brent and I start negotiating a lease contingent on the exit of the tenant, because the sale of a laundromat is one of our indications of failure. She's failing. No one sells a successful cash business. Sorry, not sorry. They don't. People do build businesses to sell them, and that is their thing. They're business flippers, okay? Not in laundromats. Unless you're a distributor, don't get me started down that road. They're just selling equipment in place. Who wants to go buy a Lowe's? No thanks. Who wants to buy a room full of washers and dryers in place? No thanks. I want to buy a business. It's going to make money. Too many liars online and everywhere else. I digress. We actually called her on the real live telephone, and she was kind enough to talk to us and said, we
might not know this. We don't know this whole situation because she sold everything.
Yeah. She tried to sell the laundromat for 9 long months. It was for sale for a longer period of time than the actual time that she operated it successfully, which never happened. I'm not sure that sentence makes sense, but it was for sale over the history of her owning it, only 3 months of operation without it being for sale. It took her that long, dragging her feet. And trust me, she knew month one, like, wait a minute, I was supposed to be taking home $15,000 a month, and I'm actually losing money. What'd they do? They left out maintenance. What'd they do? They left out the fact that the drains back up every single day because she didn't know anything about the lint traps. There's a lot to know. You guys should get a course. See if this is right for you. But I digress. The last minute, the landlord was negotiating with us in good faith, goes to her and says, listen, you're in arrears. You're not paying the rent. You got to get out. I don't know. Do we know if she took over an existing lease? Do we know?
Well, I know hers was ending this end of this month, so I'm assuming she took over an existing lease.
My God. Let me get this straight. More details, more facts. Thank you, Brent. She bought a laundromat a year ago, and her lease was up at the end of the month anyway. Imagine buying a business and giving someone cash for that business and not knowing enough to go in, no offense to her, truly no offense. She's ignorant, not stupid. Maybe both, I don't know, but I know she's ignorant. She didn't know enough to march into the landlord's office before she bought it. I'm watching this woman that I showed the other day talk about how I'm not making money in my laundromat after a year. She shall remain nameless, but I did watch a couple of her videos, and she says, here's how I got this laundromat. I found out that they were in arrears on their lease, and I went and bought it from them and then negotiated with the What? Is this a moral conundrum for anyone? No, it's business. You're not end running anyone. You're not ruining their lives. They've done that themselves. They're selling rotten apples on a street corner. Do they deserve to have that apple cart? Can they afford the permits to be there? It's time for a hot dog vendor to come in. I know. My analogies, you do not want to be in my head. Sometimes the shit makes sense. We got worms and hot dogs.
Sometimes it does.
Sometimes it does. Thank you, Brent. I appreciate your interjecting. We have to have a beer. This poor young lady is in there running a bit and then trying to sell the business. Imagine if someone said, yeah, I'll give you the 300 grand. I saw on TikTok that this is a great business and all you do is collect the money and sit by the pool. Fake. I can't wait to own a laundromat. Yes, let's do it. Yay. And then she says, I've got 2 months remaining on my lease. And then you call the landlord or his agent and say, hey, I want to sign another 10-year lease. Well, we're not going to do that. We need a strong operator. What's your experience? I have none. How are you going to make this laundry run different? I'm going to be there every day, scrubbing the floors. I have these shoes that I invented that are floor scrubbers. Try not to be an idiot. More buttons, people say. Ask your questions, people. So, what did she do? Do we know? Oh, Facebook? Was it Facebook Marketplace?
Correct.
Oh, Brent, please
I saw
tell
washers
me.
and dryers.
Please tell me I can find it.
I have a picture on there from our conversation. But it ended up just everything she had was $1. Give me an offer.
There's a picture in your Google document.
Yeah, that was just our conversation, her and I.
Oh, like text
But
conversation.
It's still up there. She's to the best of my knowledge, she still has.
On Facebook.
Yeah, on Facebook Marketplace.
Oh shit! They pulled the dryers now too, huh?
Yeah, there's one.
No, they left the black pipe. See this? If I was doing a scorched earth deal and taking everything, I'd pull all that black pipe.
I think they probably would have if
we hadn't intervened.
Correct.
Yeah. See, this particular amigo, by the way, for the cheap seats, go back and watch the other video, yes, but she went on Facebook Marketplace. Do you know what the listing says? Help me out.
Give me 1 second. I was just there. Point-operated commercial dryers is what she has for sale now.
So he didn't want the dryers?
Oh, that's they're single stacks.
Oh.
Pick up and only we accept first come, first serve. We will unhook machines from utilities. Buyers responsible for removal, transport. We cannot help load. I sent you the link.
There's a whole Facebook group, commercial laundry machines selling and buying. Wow. You can join or visit. Give me the headline. What's the headline on her? Do you have to go to Facebook Marketplace first?
I sent you a link.
Oh, you're so not on my cell phone, I hope.
did on your cell phone.
Can you email it?
I'm sure I can.
Oh, this is exciting. All right, as we tell the story, so we don't lose interest, even though this is highly interesting to me, I'm negotiating a lease in good faith, contingent on the exit of the current tenant. I don't know how long she's owned it. I don't even know she's a she. But come to find out, I don't know what the landlord communicated. Likely, hey, your lease is up. We're not going to renew it because we've got a strong operator on the line, i.e. Brent, my client, and he's going to come in here and renew the equipment and do it right. You never knew what you were doing. Who knows if she was in arrears? I don't know. I'm sure she complained. Hi, I bought a business. Can I please get a rent reduction? No. You don't know what you're doing.
She said she was in the red for the last 8 months, I think. If she didn't have attendance, she would have been in the black. It being the attendance, had to have attendance. She had to keep people out, and all the bad people out. She was in the red.
She didn't know how to run it in any other way, shape, or form. All right, I got
You
your.
should have a link in the email.
Got it. Oh, dude.
That's the dryers.
Now it's trying to boot. Oh, there it is. Okay. Oh, nice. Okay. So I can show the kids at home. Here is her Facebook. First of all, is this going to show the washers that she already sold or no? This is just indicative of what she does.
I think if you go to click on her name, you can probably see them.
All right. I don't want to get too deep. Coin-operated commercial dryers. It said $50. She crossed that out and put $1. Wow, good marketing. Why didn't she market her laundromat, I wonder? No website for the laundromat. No, nothing. People just come in. Details, condition, used, good. Laundromat store closing. Pickup only in Fort Worth. Dryers are single pockets, all gas, accepting offers. We are working on a first come, first served basis. When did she put this up? After I spoke to her?
No, this has been up for a while.
Okay. But it's still up.
Yes.
Been there for 3 weeks. She's in...
tables, the washers, all that sold. ATMs, coin machines, all that were sold.
Of course, because the one guy took them all to Mexico.
Would imagine.
Yeah. So here's
I
what you're
would've thought
missing, kids. This young lady is in a lot of hurt because she went scorched earth. Here's the thing. Why do we do this? Infrastructure. I don't want to talk about laundromats because it's too simple and easy. I want to talk about a pizzeria. If you have a pizzeria that you purchased from Giuseppe and your name is Joe, that's the same thing, but who knows? You buy the pizzeria, price doesn't matter. What do you own? Do you own the toilet in the restroom? Of course not. Do you own the ceiling tile that hang down? No. The flooring? No. Let's get into the deeper part. Do you own the commercial ovens? The Blodgetts or Baker's Prides? I love pizza. Yes. That's F&E, furnishings and equipment. That's part of the business. If you own a furniture store and sell it to Bob, Bob now owns the couch shop. Bob's Couch Shop. Change the sign, Bob. All those couches are his. If he sells that place and then that next guy fails, they can have the couches, but they can't start ripping the shit out of the walls. They can't have the toilets. They can't even have the desk in the front that people stand behind that says, "Hello, welcome to Bob's Furnishings. How may I help you?" That's part of a furniture store. That's the infrastructure that makes it tick. The lights that hang down, the ceiling, the floors, and in fact, in a furniture store, even those little sets, if you will, that are set up, right, with the walls that are everywhere to make, okay, over here is the home goods. Over here is the kitchen stuff, the partitions, the walls, whatever you want to call them. Yeah, good, thank you. This poor woman thought, I bought a laundromat, so I'm going to sell a damn laundromat. So she had these guys come in, and we've got pictures. And now I'm telling the story, and now we're going to call the landlord's agent because he wants us to give him an estimate on how much he has to sue for. And I'll tell you, Brent, I don't think this is a deal anymore. I don't think
Yeah,
you
I
want to.
understand.
Right. What are you thinking?
I mean, if he puts it back like it was, sure, but I mean, or he pays him, he gives us enough TI, then that's fine. I mean, I don't think there's a whole lot of permits to pull as far as, because we're not touching any mains or anything like that, but I don't
And
know for
here's
sure.
the point. As you're saying this, I'm starting to get the flop sweats. As you're saying this, I'm thinking, God, I've been through it. You don't want to go through it.
Okay.
And a lot of people are so desperate to get into business that they make mistakes, like this young lady did. A lot of people are so desperate to do business that they will go to the ends of the earth and make serious errors. I don't want to see you do that. I'm here as your sword, not only that, and your shield. So I want to make sure that you don't do that.
Right. I just been say I don't, if unless it's back how it was, there's no sense us.
And that's
him
what
putting it
we
back
would
like it
say.
was, that's what we need.
That's what we would say. And they're probably going to look at 90. And trust me, you have a huge leg up here because the roof penetrations, the drain troughs, all of the three-phase electric that comes into this space. But trying to explain to him, I sent him an email already with tons and tons of photos, what they're looking at and what's missing. It was nice of them to leave that PVC there. You know why? Because that's worthless. It's already got ends on it. You don't need that. It's cheap. Not as cheap as it was 10 years ago, but it's cheap. And now we've got dryers gone. And what's funny to me is they left the black pipe, which is inexpensive. But this is what a stripped laundry should look like on the dryer side. They took the dryers, they left the candy canes, they left all the up ducts, they left the door, they left the black pipe. This is all you see behind dryers, tumblers. This is the gas pipe that connects direct. But what they did with the washers was very different. They took everything. No connections. So we should now call and, my take is, hey, this is a shame. I'm not here to give opinions. We spoke to who'd you talk to? How many distributors?
One distributor, 2 bulkhead manufacturers, and an electrician.
Give me the rundown. What are the costs? Yeah, I know you said it, but let me do it again.
One guy said he could be 10, he said 60 grand. He could be 10 off either way on it. I talked to the distributor. He said he did one similar to that, only with two bulkheads, and it was 40,000 for that. So it'd be twice as many. So it'd be 80,000. And then I talked to another manufacturer, and he gave me the 60 rough. He actually did it for Dexter equipment. So he had a almost exact number. If I went with Dexter, he said 60.
Bulkheads alone.
Well, that was bulkhead. His was bulkheads and drain trough. $10,000 to the drain trough.
So 60 to 80 grand for that.
Correct. Or just the bulkheads. Then you got the electrical.
I'm going to use that.
Electrical.
Bulkheads
And that was roughly 10 whenever I called the electrical contractor.
Drainage. So what's next? Electric.
Yeah.
Is how much?
Right at 10.
That's not
8
bad
to
at
10
all.
for the wire, and then a couple grand for doing it. He's like, if you're not touching main power outside, you probably don't need a permit. You're just hooking things back up.
So 10 to 12 for electric. And what else?
That should be it. Everything else should have troughs in it. The plumbing should be there, and the bulkheads already connected.
So realistically, 70 to 92,000, not including permits.
Correct. If we have to pull permits.
You think she got $90,000 for all that equipment?
Doubt it. That's why I called it I don't even remember what I called the laundromat sample platter, because every one of them was in like a different deal. I think she had like 6 manufacturers in there.
Yeah. Sample pack. Oh, God. For those that don't know, we nickname every laundry. If you've seen the course, you know about the ass dry. And we nickname the stores. Some are better than others. All right, Brian is the man. Let's call his cell phone and see what he wants to talk about.
Alrighty.
I get excited when the phone rings. That would make me subscribe. It just would.
Hello, this is Brian Dyer.
All right, we got his cell. Hold on, Brent. I should say we got his voicemail on his cell. Now everyone is subscribing like mad. I know it. I can feel it. Not only should my minions go out and subscribe, but they should also go on all these laundromat hacks YouTubes and ask pointed questions about why they're so full of it. Don't you agree? Yes, you do.
I agree. I concur.
Damn it. All right, I want to message this guy. Talk for a moment regarding laundromat. What's the word? Rape? No. Scrape.
Pillage.
What? Pillage?
Pillage.
Pillaging. I like that. I like that. I'm doing that. Now, if you don't believe me, the text actually says, talk for a moment about laundromat pillaging, question mark. Give it a second to get delivered. It's so annoying, if you will, when we go to all this trouble and we got, I mean, there's 30 people on here. No, I don't want 3 million people. I want 30 people that really care. Ask your questions, guys. That's how we fill the time here on this channel. What's today? Oh, man. I've got lots to do. Lots to do. It's the end of the month. This is when you buy a car. You guys don't care. I could find my, if I type in, damn, I put the name Delilah and my daughter's name pops up for Instagram right away. She'd be famous. Yeah, she resells products. Her boyfriend is a very, very nice guy who also happens to look like Clark Kent and is built like Superman. So people like to see their lifestyle. Where's the dog? I'm trying to find her opening the dog present. He's not texting me back, Brent.
Okay.
We'll call him again, though.
It's pretty spot on, though.
Yeah, we'll call him again in a second.
How'd the pool party go?
Oh, fabulous. I only remember 10 minutes of it, so it was good.
We had one the next day at our house.
Nice. Oh, he's calling. Here we go. Brian, what's new and different?
Hello?
Hello? Sorry, I clicked the wrong thing. What's new and different, buddy?
Oh, every day's a new adventure, right?
That's true. That's true. If we make it adventurous, we are Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
How can I help?
So I really thought that I had a meeting of the minds with this operator about what she could and couldn't take. And and I thank you very much for the comparison pictures that you sent,
Sure.
because, I figured, they probably did $100 grand of damage for $5,000 of scrap copper, right?
Yeah,
That
exactly.
seems about right.
You're really close. Yep.
Yeah. And so my question to you, I mean, her parents bought this for her. We have a personal guarantee
Ooh.
For damages. And of course they have insurance as well. I don't know whether they can work an insurance claim or not, but the bottom line is there's a possibility that we could recover damages in order to restore this either to the condition, restore the infrastructure for a laundromat or some other use.
Mhm.
And my question is if we were able to recover the funds to restore the infrastructure for a laundromat, would y'all still be interested?
Simple answer, yes. And
Okay.
now I've got 3 plates spinning here at once. So let me say first, thank you for the compliment. Those photographs, I do have a file that I put together. And no matter what, you look at those pictures of what is a gutted laundromat and you think, oh God, this is horrible. This looks terrible. But when you know what you're looking at a little deeper, you'll say, oh, there's what we call the bulkhead walls. They're still there. What I always look for is just the copper. And if I see the copper where the washers used to be, I know that someone was careful using kid gloves to remove everything, because I'm not going to remove the equipment. The distributor himself isn't going to remove it. We're going to have some knuckle dragging guys that go in there. The landlord, none of us are going to be doing the work, maybe supervising the work. There are operators like me that stand over and make sure everything's done right. But when equipment's removed, the guys doing the work, I don't blame them for saying, hey, this copper, man, let's cut this out. This is, like you said, 5,000 or 6,000 in scrap. But you're almost spot on. Second thing was, we are interested, of course. And I think the third thing, if you do go back to a gray shell, correct me if you already know this, a laundromat is very hard on the space. The washers and dryers, by definition, are hard on the space. The dryers create a ton of heat. The washers create a ton of moisture. I wouldn't want to leave my Rolex behind a dryer any more than I would a puppy, right? It's a dangerous, hot, moist environment. That's why I will never put computers on I still use old school coin machines in all the stores. They work. They don't break. The enemy of a computer is heat, water,
moisture,
and dirt. And those things are in spades in laundromats. So you might find that if you do gray shell it, it's going to cost you as much or more to turn it back to a laundry, because the little things that are there, all the drain troughs are there. I'm sure in the year she owned it, she never cleaned out the wet lint trap. She didn't know. No new operators do. I'm not here to pick on her or what she did, but we did look into it. I have some good people on it. Bulkheads and drainage, right? That is what gets replaced where the washers are gone. And you notice, I talked to her. I don't know if I told you. I called her just to implore her, hey, stop what you're doing. You don't own that. And she said, well, I bought a laundromat, so I'm just taking a laundromat. And I said, well, you bought a business, but you didn't buy the toilets. You didn't buy the ceiling. You didn't buy the floors. And everything in between the washers and the city belongs to the landlord. I was clear. And she was nice. She talked to me for a while. Brent got her number because he was there speaking with her in person. So I told her, I implore you, if you take the dryers, if you've already sold those, He can't have the black pipe. He can't have the yellow pipes that connect to that, trying to explain what it is. You can't start pulling the candy canes through the ceiling. Because if I were him taking everything to Mexico on a semi truck, I would. I'd say, screw it. I bought everything.
If it can fit, it's going.
Yeah. In my takeovers, I've never purchased a soda or snack machine or arcade games or a changer, and I end up with those in spades. I had, I don't know, 143 arcade games at one point because people leave them behind. They don't make money in a laundromat. It's not an arcade game. It's not the 80s. Anyway, I digress. The bulkheads and drainage, right? That's replacing what was there. It's going to be
And the copper.
no, yes, I'm sorry, 60,000 to 80,000. Okay, so that we've got working bulkheads and drainage. So that's the physicality of the bulkhead walls that we back the dryer or the washers up to, and the copper connections that go to the hoses. It would have been nice if they just cut those, but she didn't know. Electric is between 10 and 12,000, including labor, and that's pretty realistic in order to get all
MEP,
the.
you got to do new MEP plans, right?
Yes. None
Okay.
of this includes permits. So we're looking at between $70,000 to $92,000, according to my guys, without permits and what those
Yeah.
cost. So you're probably right.
Yeah.
It's
So
$100,000 mistake.
Throw in a contingency, you're in 6 digits.
Yeah. It sucks. For being ignorant of something, hey, I bought a laundromat. I don't know what she paid, but the fact that she didn't have more than a year remaining on the lease, I hate to see these stories. I really do, because
Yeah.
this is
Right.
what keeps people from going into business to begin with. And
So let's say at some point in the next 30 to 60 days, we reach an agreement or a settlement with them and we get the money that we need. We get $100,000 out of them.
Yeah.
What would you see as the timing and next steps for us trying to resurrect our deal?
let me know the minute you know anything. I don't fall in love with these stores. Sadly, this store might go the way of the dodo. It just means more money for my other locations. If we see, the EPA fees are the big deal right now. The environmental impact fees have been paid. It is a laundromat. It should remain a laundromat, but I'm still not in love with it. I'm not going to fight for this deal. If you want to stroke us a check for whatever you're able to recover, and it is 92 or 100K, great. We will do the work. That being said, I put everything in writing. I consider you a friend. I'm sure we'll have a beer, but Daddy didn't raise an idiot. I want to make sure that we get everything in writing. We're still on board.
I wouldn't have it any other way.
Yeah, perfect. We're still on board.
But all right, so if we come up with $100,000 that we can give you in TI, then we can pick up where we left off.
Yep, 100%.
Okay.
Text me
That's
at this
what I was
number
looking
as soon
for.
as you know anything.
All right, Danny, thank you very much for your time and your education.
Thanks, Brian. God bless.
Have a good one. Bye.
Yeah. We'll take 100K. Why? Because, you're not going to cut corners at that point, but you're going to be able to take the guy that says 10 instead of 12. You're going to take the guy that says 60 instead of 80, right? Well, write it up. Back to the drawing board. Thanks, Brent.
Thank you, sir.
All right. Talk to you soon. Funny thing about me, well, there's a lot of funny things about the humorous thing about me, guys. I'm a consultant now. I've done this not only for my empire of laundromats, but for others over and over and over. Tell me who has their fingers in more pies and laundries than I do. The president of the Coin Laundry Association going to meetings? No, it's me. It's just a fact. I'm a narcissist, maybe. I heard that was a bad thing. Perhaps. These are facts. Am I calling myself a thought leader? Zig Heil. Good God. Who are these people? It's disgusting. You know who I'm talking about. Tell me which button it is, kids. Let's face the facts. Most people should go to a job every single day and be a worker bee. They'll never be anything else. Most people. There are folks working on AI, stocks and bonds, pulling gold out of the ground, taking risks, doing big things, owning dozens and dozens and dozens of laundromats. But what happens when the entire universe is AI and robots? Who's going to work? Who's going to pick up your trash? You have to understand that a certain percentage of the populace is meant to be the worker bee. Can you come over here and say hello? You're going to just run away? Shelly! I don't know if Mac is on here, but Shelly's wearing a dress. No, she's leaving. In a nutshell, this young lady, now we find out more tidbits, more information, more facts, more figures, right? Her parents bought her a laundromat. That is not the nicest thing to do if your kid is going to become a doctor or dentist or lawyer someday, right? You're basically saying, my daughter is a worker bee. She's going to work in a laundromat every day. Their due diligence was a joke because people don't know a thing about laundromats, and so they go buy one. They believe the P&L statements and the numbers. Oh, how much does it cost to fix the equipment every month? Nothing. How often, I've heard distributors say this, how often does your washer and dryer at home need to be fixed? Never. Your washer and dryer at home get used on Saturdays and Sundays for your skivvies. Got a family of 5? That's not average. Those washers are made to break every 5 years and be replaced. That should be the question. When's the last time you replaced it? I could go on ad nauseum. I cannot abide liars and scumbags and fake guru. They omit more facts than the truths that they're telling. Buy a laundromat no matter what. So this poor woman, right in the thick of all of it, watching TikToks. I just saw a Facebook of a woman, 9 months pregnant. You probably know who it is. Working in the laundromat. She's like, follow me for my 10-hour shift in my laundromat. I couldn't help myself. I looked, I saw that she doesn't sell a course, not yet. From memory, I said, ask yourself these questions. Whatever you're netting at her and her husband work there, whatever you're netting every month, how much would that equate to an hourly wage? Is it less than minimum wage? Meaning she could probably leave that laundromat in the dust and go work at McDonald's 9 months pregnant and earn more, feel better about her life. And the second question was, can you run 10 or even 2 laundromats the exact way you're running that one? I know the answer, no, there's not 10 of her. There's not 2 of her. Why would you want to get into any business with small thinking? Small businesses are great, but small thinking will crush you. If you can't run an empire of nail salons or massage parlors, or have 30 guys in the field with brand new pickup trucks cleaning windows, then why do you want to go clean windows? Figure it out. You're no different than Elon Musk. Well, he's pretty different. You're no different than the guy that says, I don't want to clean pools. I want to be the guy that sits by the pool. How do we make that happen? Simple. Trying to find my daughter's opening Benny. I don't know how to do it. I give up. All right, your questions. What a live it has been, kids. How is the average view duration 7 minutes? I mean, what are you, tell me what you people are doing. Where are my people? Hey, Danny, says Ryan. Hello. Hi, Danny. This is Lucas. I've heard you mention triple nets and cams. My monster's under the bed. I love you, Lucas. Love you. He mentions his name and he uses a Danny quote. My monster under the bed is, how do we validate that the landlord is being on the level? Thanks. Great question. I've never had one that wasn't. And you can get an accounting in writing every 6 months or every year. Every year is more common. So you'll see it. Talk to the other tenants. Hey, is this guy ever stupid? They don't pull shenanigans because it's so simple to audit them. I've never, ever, ever even heard of one trying to. Do they? They're human beings, so I'm sure that some of them do. But here's the thing about landlording. Taxes, common area maintenance, right? You might have a store in New Jersey, and every year there's a bad storm, and if you want somebody using your laundromat, you better get some plows in there. That's going to be a cost. If you're in Arizona, you're never going to have to plow the snow. Hallelujah. But you'll have to trim the trees. The landlord could say, you know what? We want to have a consensus from the 23 tenants in here. We want to remove all the trees. Maybe you like the shade. Maybe you're a dentist. But maybe you say, you know what? I'm sick and tired of spending $200 a year or $20 a month trimming those trees because it's split among the tenants. Everything's weighed and factored in. So we're talking about regional differences and we're talking about community. Hey, I don't want those trees, man. I don't give a shit about those trees. Let's get rid of them. Tell me in the comments, what are some common area maintenance items I'm not thinking of? What are some big and small things that might happen? I can say one. You ever go down to, you're in Beverly Hills or Scottsdale or Monaco, and they've got a giant cauldron. Every night when the sun goes down, it starts spewing fire. Oh, that's a big expense. I should know. I have 6 of those in my backyard. So the answer is, it is a monster under the bed. Let's dispel that. Kill shot. All right? Kill shot. No more concerns. You don't have a laundromat, Lucas, if I'm right. I know what you meant. Sorry, I meant to say on the level with their quote on triple net and cams. Yes. Never had one try to rob me in that way. TJ says, TJ here, thank you, TJ, for that. When searching for landlords and you come across 2 people listed as the landlords, the names, ages make it seem like they are mom and daughter, which is the best to contact for our calls. Well, I'd talk to the mom. MILF. I would talk to the mom because she can always say, well, my daughter's handling things now. And then we could ask a few questions. Get the sage advice from the old lady. Good question. And you can always text me those kinds of, you guys know. A lot of people are sort of overcautious with my time. Oh, Danny, I wanted to ask you this while we're on our calls calling landlords today because I didn't want to text you. Just text me. Text me. If I'm doing something with Shelly, I am not going to worry about my texts. But I'm answering texts all day, every day. 50, 60 texts a day and more. Thanks for asking. Lucas, we have no control on triple net and cams, ? No, it like I said, if your taxes are regionally preposterous, you're going to pay it. Oh, and I was starting to say this. Thank you for reminding me. Isn't that great that a landlord with 35 tenants, this big giant 1 million square foot parking lot, they exist, or a mall, right? A mall, an outdoor mall like we have in Arizona or in Minnesota, the Mall of America. The tenants pay for the common area maintenance. Now, in an indoor mall, that would be, you guys aren't saying no comments whatsoever about what cams might be. Come on. What might an indoor, outdoor, what might a landlord have to spend on common area maintenance? Well, painting the building. Come on, let's hear it. There's 24 of you on. Wake up, all 24 of you. Am I being played on a phone in a corner? Come on. Kill shot. I could play the buttons that came with this thing. Like and subscribe. Or, what's this? Oh, here we go. Whenever you hear somebody with that air horn, it's so lame, dude. It came with the Roadcaster. It's just lame. Yeah, I'm funny. Response for the... Thank you, Marcus. The roof is not part of CAMs. But you are right. Every landlord is responsible for the roof. And they don't put that in the common area maintenance. They don't have a right to do that. That is their responsibility. So we've got a mall with 23 suites and 1 million square feet. There's a check cashing joint. There's a McDonald's. Landlord doesn't own that dirt. McDonald's only owns its dirt. So as soon as you see a McDonald's, you know that McDonald's Corporation owns it. Boom, they're in the real estate market. That's lame as hell. Try not to be an idiot. Isn't it nice that all 23 of those tenants pay common area maintenance, trash removal, security? Come on, guys, exterior lighting. Very good. Very good. Hit me. Think. In many cases, laundromats are in tiny little rinky-dink strip mall scenarios. So guess what? Oh my God, have we been on here for 3 hours? No, 2 hours. That seems great, right? I want to be a landlord. I want to be the lord of the land. I want to be the guy who's the plebes are paying all the rents. How about when you have 23 suites and only 10 of them are full in bad times? The landlord has to whack up and pay CAMs, triple nets, insurance, all of that. Now, the question is, well, what if they try to schluff it on you? I've never seen it. It's too easily accounted for and probably a jailable offense. It's probably more difficult to be a landlord than it is a realtor. So Lucas says we have no control on triple net and CAMs. No, but the control that you have is the fact that you could get together as a conglomerate and among tenants and say, hey, we don't really want these trees here anymore. Or we want to pay for our own trash collection because the Denny's has a lot more trash than my laundromat, or vice versa. Okay? Don't ever think you have no control. But in a laundromat scenario with the type of tenants that are adjacent to us, we're not going to have exorbitant triple nets, CAMs, or taxes. Okay? It's not going to happen. Thank you. You're welcome. Samantha Danbury. Well, that's got to be your... Samantha Danbury. That's got to be your real name. What do you think of ozone sanitation? I don't, Samantha. It's an unnecessary, preposterous way for them to take your money. So say no. 9412 Gidley. Destroying infrastructure is not as uncommon as I had hoped. What are you talking about? What are you talking? Because I did one story about it in 21 years? I've rolled up on this in process about 5 times while scouting in SoCal. I've seen even more post-apocalypse. No, you haven't. You don't know what you're talking about. You don't know what you're talking about. This is not operators destroying infrastructure. This is distributors removing equipment. This is landlords decide. Yes, I do. Oh, you're going to argue with me. Okay, buddy. I know what I'm talking about. What you're seeing, you said you rolled up. in Southern California. First of all, what's your name? Because your name isn't 9412 Gidley. Let's go. What's your name? Destroying infrastructure is not as uncommon as I had hoped. I've rolled up on this in process 5 times. Well, with my experience, hello, Mark. Have you seen the course, Mark? The silly course? With my experience, there are a lot of got the course, we make calls. Oh, good. All right. SoCal is no different than anywhere else. So you and I can talk about this. This isn't an argument. I'm happy to say it. I'm happy to make these discussions happen. Hundreds of locations visited. Okay, Mark. When you're seeing activity go on in the laundromat, you don't have a long enough timeline. You can go back in 6 months and say, oh, that. Why don't you call me, Mark? Brent is telling me they still have a bunch of open spaces in that center. Mark, I can't know your last name. Send me a text. Waiting is the hardest part. I do not sing, but I do curse. Oh, I'm not allowed to play that. Yeah, I got dinged for the song. Mark, bro, you're sitting there. What are you, at work? What's going on? Send me a text. Mark, text me. Okay, I have a text. Hundreds of times. Hello?
Okay, you're putting me on live.
Yeah, of course.
Love your material.
I know you love it.
I would have lost all my money had I not followed you. I would have done stupid shit.
Well, thanks. That's not why I called.
Okay.
I'm not going to argue that you have rolled up on stores and you see things happening, but what I will argue is the fact that some outgoing tenant removing infrastructure is so bad. It's so stupid. They have a lawsuit with this gal now that they could easily, it's a slam dunk, right? This is like going and saying, I'm going to start a veterinary shop, and you can't tell the difference between a fucking horse and a cow. I mean, worse than that, a horse and a cat. This woman had no idea what she was doing. Her parents bought her the business, and she doesn't own the business. She owns the equipment. She owns the name. If you look at any contract regarding an actual purchase, right, you are buying the rights to the business, the goodwill, the F&E, the furnishings and equipment, not what is behind it. If there's a stubbed out pipe this big at Starbucks coffee that connects to the coffee machine, when you leave, Starbucks can have the coffee machine, but they can't have the pipe. It's part of infrastructure.
That's all true, but the guys that are actually doing the work, even if the operator were to tell them to be careful, which I don't know that they do, these guys just go in there and hack it up. And you also have situations where if they don't have like roll-up doors over the place, it gets broken into by 100%. The junkies.
And I talk about that. I talk about that in my course. But what you're saying is destroying infrastructure is not as uncommon as you had hoped. Well, here's the thing. Like we just saw here, there's always recourse from the landlord. Whether or not they decide to go after it is one thing. And personally, let's say a laundromat closes and they don't have roll down shutters. It's not New York or LA. And the homeless populace comes in. They're not necessarily stealing it, but the thieves are. So they come in and they start cutting the copper out. I've never seen someone remove equipment, cut copper, put equipment back, right? So the equipment getting removed is step one. It's too much work. They don't know the difference. They'll go on the roof and steal the air conditioner before they'll cut the copper out when the equipment is there. All that being said, I'm not arguing with you. What I'm saying is, it's not being done by the outgoing operator. It's either being done by the landlord, which means they already decided they don't want a laundry there anymore. And the crazy part is, strangely, it's more money for our operations that exist. We don't worry about the store across the street or down the block that goes the way of the dodo, because it goes away. No one's going to build more stores in Southern California ever again. It's too much money in EPA fees. Hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars just before you break ground. Not going to happen unless distributors start building franchise stores, which they are, right? Okay. There's always a caveat. There's always an X to the Z and a yes to the no and a hell to the yeah. All right. Destroying infrastructure by the operator is uncommon because they've been beaten down and they normally know enough about business. They can't say, well, I don't own the toilet. I don't own the roof. I don't own these copper pipes. This woman got screwed for, I'd love to know. Did you watch the live from the other day?
I only got part of it where you were gonna go out to the party or the pool party.
Yeah, I talked to her. I spoke to her. In that call, I spoke to this woman who took the stuff. And I was like, hey, I'm no authority, but I'm telling you, you don't own any of that stuff. She's like, now I know why she sounded young. Her folks bought her a laundromat.
And for whatever reason, though, it's still, it's still disheartening when you pull up and it's either been, mutilated past repair, or, in one case I saw the guys doing it, and I was scouting in Huntington Park, and the guy that was doing it just could barely speak English, but he called the operator, and I was talking to the operator. I'm like, what are you doing here? And he's like, I'm pissed. This guy didn't renew my lease, so I'm gonna gut this place. And I said, well, it's,
you're about to get sued.
You're kind of ruining this as a laundromat for anybody in the future. But he was just upset, and he wanted to exact revenge. I don't know if he got sued or anything like that.
I said
I've
this.
seen it happen.
I said this the other day. I used to repo cars, right? It's awfully rare. Do you know what happens when your car gets repossessed? Do you know what happens to your vehicle?
Luckily, no, I don't know anything about that.
Good answer. It goes to a public auction. It doesn't go back to the bank. It doesn't go back to the dealership. It goes because they're looking, the whole system, right? You owe money to Wells Fargo and you bought the car at Fred's GMC. All right. Fred's GMC doesn't care about you. They don't repossess the car. Wells Fargo does. So you're out for repo. You haven't made a payment in 6 months and you're hiding in the bushes and the repo man comes and takes your car. Well, it goes to a public auction. All right. If you defaulted in the first 3 payments, you probably owe a shit ton of money on that car. And it's going to go to public auction. Again, I keep saying that because it's not just the good old boys where they sell it to their brother. It goes back to the dealership. It goes to a public auction. Anyone can go to that auction, but mostly they're wholesalers that buy these cars, okay, for their own car lots. So you're not going to get all the money. When it sells, let's say that you bought it for $50,000 and it sells for $25,000. Guess what you owe the bank? $25,000. Now, the flip side to that is, I remember we drove out to when I was repossessing cars, we drove out to a very, very nice home. We pulled up. It was basically a butler that gave us the keys to a Rolls Royce. And I said, well, I'll be driving this home. You can drive the tow truck. The thing had low miles. It was immaculate. It was clean. It smelled new. But the last few payments, the owner died. The guy had millions. It was a big house, whatever else. It got repossessed. Imagine his luck. Like anybody in the family that knew about this, they'd have said, no, don't. But whatever, they screwed up, right? We took it to auction. It fetched a bunch of money, and he only owed a couple grand. He got a check. The estate got a check. Maybe the family was thinking, screw it, we don't care. We don't want to have to sell it. Let it go to public auction. They knew their rights. They knew what would happen. The car went for a lot of money. Was it the true amount that it was worth? No, because they're mostly wholesalers. You understand? So these are real facts you must understand and know. If a landlord makes the decision that they no longer want a laundromat there because it was such a pain in the ass with the tenant, fine. I don't argue that. All I ever argue, and you know this, is we are the best operators on planet Earth, and we're going to run a great store, unlike your previous tenants. So the monster under the bed is that the previous operator, because we kicked them out, are going to go in there and pour concrete down the drain. Well, I've also seen cars that are up for repossession that we find at the police impound yard, right? With bullet holes, not on the outside, but from the inside out. So these people, like this moron, are saying, screw the bank. Forget GMC and Fred who sold me this car, and they shoot bullets through their car window and the door from the inside out. They have a little fun shooting session. Who are they hurting? Only themselves, because when it goes to the public auction, people are going to go, ooh, yeah, I'll give you $500 for that car because it's got a good engine, and now you owe $42,000. Silly. You're not hurting anybody but yourself. Obviously, you should know that. What did you do? Hang up on me? You're still there.
I'm here.
But you can't let it bother you because that was never your road to hoe. Brent is not concerned about this Texas store because he's not bleeding ink or losing money. We are in a process, right? We are getting it done. And now they're saying, hey, if we can collect $100,000, we'll get you a check. Okay, deal. And like I said, we only do things that are better for us. And when these stores go away, yeah, the stores hold a special place in my heart because they were laundromats for years and years and years. But if the landlord decides it's going to go away, or some fucking idiot decides he wants to go destroy the laundromat, nothing we can do, but it doesn't hurt us. You follow? So find more stores, put them in front of me. That's what we do. I saved you money because, like you said, at first you thought, I'm going to go buy a laundromat. Now you know better.
I would have made every mistake. I would have made every mistake. And yeah, no, it's way more valuable than I could have imagined. Yeah.
Thank you.
It's easy to make mistakes out there.
What started your journey? What fake guru was it that you saw, on TikTok or whatever else? Because that's what's going on now. What did you see that made you think, oh, I've got to...
It was a pandemic, or right around the pandemic, somebody that I would run into and hang out with sort of at the coffee shop in the mornings getting coffee, owned a laundromat, but and he was wanting to sell it to me, and he was doing everything wrong. He had cards in there, and he wanted to sell it for like $1 million. And it just got me to like thinking about, I didn't do it, thank God. But then I just started looking into it. And I don't remember how, but I didn't find a bunch of those jerks, the fake gurus out there first, thank God. But I did find your videos, and then I got your course, and then we started making calls. But yeah, I would have done all the dumb things. And it's too bad that what you offer for this market isn't more available for other small businesses, because I'm sure there's, if you name like any type of business, there's a lot of people that just go in it blind, and you lose a lot of money doing that. But this is fantastic.
Thank you.
So,
and you know what's funny? When you mention that, we all see it, but we don't know what's going on behind the scenes. We see that, oh my God, you laugh with your wife or girlfriend or your significant other. Remember that, restaurant? It's normally a restaurant. Remember that restaurant that was over on the corner? It's gone again. Because that one place, it's doomed, right? They always reopen. At first, it's a Mediterranean place, and then an Italian place, and then a Mexican place, but it just can't make it. It's not because of the street corner it's on. It's because so many people are buying the business, bringing grandma's recipe in, and that's all they know, grandma's recipe. They don't know how to run a business. They don't know how to utilize employees. Maybe they did everything right, but one thing, and that thing could be anything. They don't know how to order meat. So they end up tens of thousands a month. I mean, go watch Restaurant Rescue, right? Go watch Bar Rescue. I love those shows. It's just the laundry. It's not about the operation. The operation's easy. Or they decide, I'm going to work here every day. I told you, I just saw a video for the first time. This woman's got like 13,000 followers on all the platforms. She's probably getting ready to sell a course. She's 9 months pregnant. It's heartbreaking to me. I see her working in the laundry. She's like, follow me for my 10-hour shift in the laundry. Who's your husband? How is he letting you work in the laundry 10 and a half months pregnant? Like, that's not a, if you start off your pizzeria saying, I'm going to work here every day and my son's going to sweep the floors and my wife is going to clean the toilets, what are you doing? You're not creating substantial wealth. You're creating a job for your whole family, and your grandkids are going to end up working there. When you sit back and say, you know what, I've got an idea, my grandma's recipe and my business knowledge, I'm going to own 400 pizzerias in the United States in the next year. That's an idea. If you can't run one pizza shop the way you're going to run 400, you shouldn't even start. Let's get back at it, Mark. I appreciate you.
All right, thank you.
Thanks for calling. It's funny to me when I first consult with someone and they want to tell me their story, their laundromat journey. And their journey hasn't ended. It's just really beginning. But they also have this past, this dark past, where they've been interested in buying them. And they've listened to fools and heretics who try to lie about the process. This has been a very telling day. We're doing deals. You want to own a laundromat? You want to do it right? You need a shield and a sword? That's Danny. How do you do it? Start with my silly course. Where? There's a link in every single video. Every video. freelaundromat.com. Find it. I'll put the link here. I am going to be consulting with a couple of young ladies here in a minute. I usually don't even make appointments, but they were adamant about 3 p.m. California time. Okay, we can do that. You know who you are, girls. My marching orders for each and every one of you. You've got the course? Let's get on the phone this afternoon. Smash the button inside the course, consult with Danny. You don't have the course? Come on. You know what you need to do. You really do. You do. Later.